Friday, everyone. Welcome. Great to see you. Whether you're here with me live or you're watching on the replay, this is the last practice of the week. And for this one, it's Pilates as we continue on this Pilates week. And I'm going to be mixing it up a little bit this morning, adding a variety of maybe reaching and using some props. I have a Pilates ball handy. I have a Pilates ring. I have a couple of yoga blocks. So I'm just going to mix it up and incorporating some of the tricks that I talked to you about in yesterday's video. So be sure to tune into that if you have not seen it already. And other than that, just continuing on with this 31 days of Zen. And during this month, every day, I brought some content to you, and we've had quite a variety of content. So I've gone from Pilates, actually starting with yoga, to Pilates, back to yoga, and then to Pilates once again. So we've had a lot of variety and having a special guest each and every week on Sunday afternoon. We've covered quite a few different topics, but all fitness related, yoga related. And this coming Sunday, I'll be interviewing Miriam Kilby, who is a really good friend and a yogi as well, a very big supporter of the channel, as well as a supporter of me, which I truly appreciate. So Miriam has been there with me. Good morning, Paul. Lovely to see you this Friday morning. Miriam's been with me for a long time in my yoga journey as a teacher, and has really been supportive and encouraging. So I'm really excited for you to meet her as well as to find out. And there she is. I was just talking about you, Miriam. And so I'm excited for you to meet her and to hear what she has to say as far as her journey as yoga, fitness, wellness, and her journey with me as well. So we'll have an interesting chat on Sunday afternoon, and that'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're just coming in now, I just mentioned this morning we're going to mix it up for our Pilates practice. We are going to be going back and forth, maybe reaching for some props. So if you have them handy, if you don't, and all you have is a cushion nearby or a couple of cushions, you might want to just use those as well. But I have my Pilates ball as well as Pilates ring and a couple of yoga blocks. So next Monday will be the final live that I do for this 31 days of Zen as we come on to May 31st. So be sure not to miss that one. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we've got Miriam here, we have Paul, we have Up Vlogs with Neelam Moria. And so welcome everybody. Let's get started. We're going to come onto the mat first. And I'm just going to put on a little bit of music here as we bring ourselves to a neutral position on our mat. So bringing the head nice and level. So you're pressing through the back portion of the skull and taking a moment to kind of get yourself organized physically as you kind of wiggle out the hips a little bit, maybe lift your pelvis up and then reposition down on the mat, and that just helps you to have a better alignment. We open up through the chest, and as we take a deep breath in through the nose, you'll feel the belly expanding, exhaling through the mouth, and then as you hold that tension in the belly, we start to incorporate some movement. So let's bring the legs to a tabletop position. Bring the arms up, and as we extend right leg and right arm, we start to kind of play around with throwing the balance off kilter a little bit as we make sure that we're not starting to rock the pelvis. We want to keep it nice and neutral as we get ourselves ready to move and get a good workout in this Pilates practice. So we're going to be strengthening the core, but As always, when we work on a Pilates practice, it's the whole body that's working. So we just want to bring some concentration here. Now, extending both arms and both legs, or keep going with one at a time if that's what serves you best. So from here, just experimenting. As soon as you make that lever longer, you're going to find that you start to have to work a little bit harder here to keep yourself well balanced and preventing that lower back from arching too much. So let's bring it in here. Give yourself a little hug, a little release. So we just want to gradually bring some blood flow to those big muscles and to kind of get the body in that state of mind ready to work. So from here, bringing those knees back to tabletop, not tablecloth, taking the hands and bringing them just by the ears to nod the chin. And now if that's a bit too much, you could reach the arms forward. That's going to make it a little easier for you to concentrate on your form. And then roll it back down again. Really important to think about articulation of the spine. So you're nodding the chin when you come up, and you want to have the head pretty much resting over top of the shoulders, stacking there, so that you are focusing on working the abdominals more than your neck. So reaching forward can be really helpful, because as soon as you bring the fingertips by the ears, it's going to make it a little bit more demanding for you to get that head stacked above your shoulders. So typically for most of these movements, we're doing anywhere from 5 to 10 repetitions. So it's more important to have real quality of movement rather than having quantity of movement. So keep your breath moving in through your nose and out through your mouth. Nice and warm in the belly as you get those abs warmed up. So we're going to do one more here. And then bringing the head down, bring the feet down, and bring the arms at your sides. Want the feet a little wider than hip width, and just wiper blade the legs a little bit here from side to side. As I reach for, I'm going to reach for my yoga blocks here, bringing one block and placing it on my shins. So if you had a pillow, you could do that. And I'm going to take the other one and just bring it. So I'm pressing it between the palms. And as I just softly hold it over my chest, taking an inhale here, and as I exhale, I reach. So I want to make sure the one on my shins stays balanced there, and I want to press the one between my palms so that I've got good activation in that upper body. So important here to keep those ribs from flaring up as you extend those arms up overhead. It'd be really easy to flare the ribs, which would mean that you're actually arching your spine. So you want to maintain the natural curvature of your spine while you do these. And if you drop your block, you know that you are having to work a little harder to keep that lower half balance. So let's do 2 more here. Breathing in when it's easy, breathing out as you challenge, and bring it back in again. Release, and from here you can take a block if you like, or whatever you have as a prop handy nearby, or nothing at all. The nice thing about the prop is that it just helps you to bring the focus to squeezing and holding on to it, which can help you to have more presence, more concentration. So as I bring the arms at my sides, I'm opening the chest, taking an inhalation, lengthening the tailbone to lift up into that bridge. So while I'm squeezing the block between my knees. So articulating to bring it down, taking an inhale to lengthen, and as I exhale, I lift up, squeezing that block, squeezing the glutes as well. So the powerhouse is from the pelvic floor to the navel, and I want to be kind of sandwiching my lower organs between the front of the body, so the lower belly, and the sacrum, the back of the pelvis in the back. So you imagine those 2 points pressing toward each other as you move, and keep squeezing that block. So you're working your adductor muscles in the inner thighs as you do the articulation and that squeeze of the glutes. Good morning, Alicia. Glad you made it. Thank you for joining us today as we do this final Pilates practice. So from here, we bring it all the way down and release. Now I'm going to reach for my yoga ball, or Pilates ball rather, and placing it. So again, you do not need to have a prop here. You can execute this perfectly well without. Just going to help to kind of change things up a bit, make it a little bit more fun perhaps. So you could have the leg bent for this next one on the left side, and just giving your right hamstring a little bit of a stretch here. A little circling out of the ankle massage here to stretch things out. Pressing that heel to the sky, pulling that leg towards you, and keeping that left leg bent or bringing it long. Now, if you're bringing it long, what I'm going to do is place the back of my heel on the ball and pressing into it. So that's going to kind of throw off my stability here. I've got my fingers on my hip bones as I circle around. So preventing the hips from moving as I do this. So breathing in and out, breathe in and out for 4, 5, and go the other way, circling it around. So while I'm working the leg, I've got the muscles in my leg nice and taut. I'm trying not to move my left one. So try to keep that leg really still, keeping my hips really still. So there's lots of engagement through the whole body. Last one right here, and bring that knee in, give it a nice squeeze, and let's switch the ball around. So again, right leg can be bent or it can be extended. I'm going to place my right heel on the back of that ball. So I want to have it at the point where it's the most unstable. And from here, giving my left leg a nice stretch, kind of waking things up here. So I circle at the ankle, stretching out the calf, the Achilles tendon, pulling the thigh toward me, keeping chest open. Hands come on my side, pointing through the toes, belly nice and firm, circling in and out. So keeping everything nice and still. Now if you want a little bit more challenge, you can take those hands and just place them over your hip bones so they're not holding you steady, and make sure that right leg's not moving, whether it's floating up in the air or whether it is resting on the ball. Change, go the other way. Try to keep your cervical spine nice and level also in its natural curvature. And bring it back to the center and release. From here, bring both knees in, and I'm just going to move the ball aside for now. And as I stretch both legs out, taking an inhale, exhaling to lift up into nice curl here. Again, the head is over the shoulders. You're right, 31 days of Zen, almost over. It's hard to believe how quickly it's gone. So as I lower my left leg, I'm going to do a double pulse here with the right leg. Inhaling, exhale, exhale, breathe in, out, out, breathe in, and out, out. Try to keep that upper body from rocking and really isolating the stillness in the upper body while I keep the lower half moving. So 2 more on each leg. Last one. And bring that in, bring the head down. Take a nice big long stretch here, opening up the entire body. Beautiful legs. Lots of opportunity for recovery here as we get the breath in and allow your little bit of a recovery. So from here, I'm going to reach for the ball again. Once again, totally optional. As I place my ball right in front of the right thigh, place my right elbow. I'm going to hold the ball here with a little twist. Then I'm going to roll the ball over to the left side as I stretch the right leg and open up the right shoulder. So continuing to alternate that from side to side as I roll the ball from one leg to the other. Breathing in the middle here. Breathing out as I switch. And making sure that I'm not pulling on my neck as I'm doing this. So it's really about the control, very, very smoothly, alternating from side to side, working those oblique muscles as I do this. And let's do another 2. Feels so good to do this. And one more on each side. And breathe in, breathe out as you twist. Bring it back center and release that ball. From here, I'm going to place it between the inner thighs, giving it a really good squeeze. So making sure it's not between my knees. And as I bring the legs, I could keep them on the floor, especially if you're feeling that you need a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a recovery here. You could just keep the legs here or in tabletop, or lengthen them long as we roll up. So adjusting myself here. So I've got the head lifted, the chest is open. So imagine your collarbones nice and broad, squeezing that ball as I inhale for 1, 2, 3, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10, inhale, 2, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 20, inhale, 2, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 30, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 40, inhale, 2, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 50, inhale, 2, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 60, inhale, 2, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 70, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 4, 80, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 90, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 4, 100. Bring that in. Stretch it out once again, pressing the palm or the ball, pressing palms into the ball, lengthening the legs, keeping my pelvis neutral and level, breathing in, breathing out to reach the arms forward, tucking the chin in. Maybe this is where I stop, or maybe I'm able to roll and articulate to bring myself to the top. Taking a full inhale here, again, preventing those ribs from popping open as I continue on to articulate through the spine, pressing those palms firmly, breathing in and breathing out. Press, 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 and roll it up. Breathe in. And breathe out as you come up again, breathing in at the top, breathing in at the bottom. Keep it going. And this feels really, really good as we continue this work. We're really getting things warmed up so that we can add a few of the Pilates tricks as we move on in our practice. So last one right here. If you can, if you're getting so tired through the abs that you can't roll all the way up to seated, just roll through your side and join me in seated. So from here, I'm going to take the ball, place it between the inner thighs, and as I press through the backs of my heels, taking the hands beside or kind of slightly behind me, in line with the shoulders as I press up into a inclined plane. Toes are pressing toward the floor. Maybe you can't get them all the way down, but you want to create that intention and opening up through the chest as we squeeze the ball. So we're going to pulse the squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it all the way down. Great. From here, keeping hold of the ball. If you have one, again, it's totally optional, but from here, I'm going to move onto laying on my side with the ball underneath the bottom ankle or the bottom ankle, foot, and I'm pressing into it. And again, because it's round, the tendency is going to be for me to kind of roll the ball forward and back. But I want to resist that as much as possible. So I'm really working on stabilizing so I can extend, keeping a nice long line through my spine here. And from here, pointing through the toes, keeping these hips level as I do circles forward, keeping my body nice and still, so you can use the hand to help you. If you want more challenge, you could also have the arm extended up. So we're not doing huge circles. They're fairly, probably about the size of a dinner plate, and then we're circling in the opposite direction. So we really want to feel the legs toning here. The glutes are working, the powerhouse is on and working, and you're pressing the bottom leg into that ball as well. From here, we're going to reach back, so you're squeezing the glute, and from here, kick forward. So take it back, extension of the spine here, and then flexion as you double pulse. So reach it back, squeeze, and take it forward as you double pulse. Breathe in, out, out. Breathing in, so you want to have a gliding motion as well. You don't want to have jerkiness to this. And then bring it all the way back, keeping the leg extended and lifted slightly. From here, I'm going to press through the heel and lifting up. So I want to feel that the abductors here working as I lift for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lower it all the way down. From here, I'm going to step the front foot or the top foot, bring it forward. I can move the ball out of the way now as I flex that bottom ankle and lift it up for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Stretch both legs long, and from here, propping yourself up to come up into a side plank. So reaching the hips nice and high here as I take a reach, lift up through those hips, and making a fist with the hand as I bring it right underneath the bottom rib cage. So inhale, reach it up, open the chest. Exhale, squeeze it through. Breathing in and breathing out. Reach and squeeze. Reach up and tuck. Inhale and exhale. Lifting those hips nice and high. And last one. Hold it here. And from here, reposition, making sure that you're nice and stable as I lift the top leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those side planks are amazing for working the oblique muscles and all the while continuing to work the powerhouse, the core. We're working shoulders, we're working the whole body in these exercises. So from here, let's take it right into a full plank. Taking the feet a little bit wider here than hip width, keeping the body nicely aligned. I'm happy you like the music, Alicia. Bring it up, inhale, exhale, bring it down. Take it up and take it down. So you can alternate the arms, or you can keep it the same rhythm the whole way through as we walk this through. Keeping your hips from popping up here. Sometimes what I'll see is this kind of effect. We want to keep it in line. So you want to keep that body straight. You want to keep it strong. And let's finish up. Last 2.
One more from here. Take it all the way up. Bring the knees down. Ooh, push it back. A little recovery here. Forehead to the mat. And as you come to your table, let's articulate through the spine, working through that cow-cat. Eris, good morning. Welcome. Happy to see you joining in today. Happy Friday to you. As we bring the hips to the right, take your gaze to the right. Trying to look past your right shoulder. Lateral cat. Take it to the left. Look past that left shoulder. And let's come on back onto our side. So we're moving on to the side. And this time, we start off with the ball as we did previously. So we're just going to repeat the same sequence. And this is where you notice where you may have some differences, imbalances from one side to the other, one side stronger than the other. So as you find your balance here, you are going to point through those toes. Keep both legs firm and strong. Start to circle forward. For 3, 2, 1. Try to keep that bottom leg as steady as you can. Circle the other way for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And from here, we flex and lift and lower. Lift and lower. So it's a real controlled movement. You want to imagine that you're doing this kind of movement in water or in mud. So you're resisting the way up and you're resisting the way down. It's really, really important to use your own body's resistance and not just have the leg kind of flopping up and down and just going through the motion. That's not going to cut it. You've got to engage those muscles. So let's bring the leg to hover again. We're reaching back into extension. So you're lengthening here, and then you're going to double pulse forward. So breathe in here as you reach back. Lead with that heel and double pulse. Keeping that bottom leg still as steady as you can as you keep reaching back and forward. Reach it back and forward. Feel that real good squeeze in the glute. Feels great to work those muscles. Last one right here. And as you just set the ball aside, once again, I'm going to take that top leg, bring it across the top, holding on to it as I lift and lower. So lifting and lowering. It's a reach through the sole of the foot, reach through the heel as I breathe in and out. And from here, we're going to do one more lift. Last one. Bring it all the way down. Slide your shoulder or your forearm, elbow underneath your shoulder, stacking the legs as we lift up into our side plank. So open it up. So make sure that you really open through the chest so you're not collapsing into your shoulder. Reach and extend through that top hand. Lift the hips a little higher. Take that fist and bring it right under the rib cage. So working those obliques once again. Breathe in and breathe out. Reach it up and bring it in. And reach, open. Feel your breath really flowing in as you extend and expand. Reach and use your breathing to really help you to set a pace that works for you and to also keep energizing the body. Last one here. Bring it up. And as you hold it up, make sure your position nice and strong as we lift that top leg for 10, 9, 8. Keep the body straight. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Bring yourself back into a shell stretch here. You can bring the big toes together, part the knees. Give yourself a nice recovery here. And as you slowly unroll, coming through, and we're going to move into a plank position once again. From here, we align, reaching the head forward again. You want to keep those hips level, firing up the whole body, right from the feet. Inhale, and as you exhale, bending those elbows to release down to your mat. So now we're going to work the back of the body. So we want to work more on extension to really balance the flexion work that we've been doing. So from here, I'm going to take the Pilates ring. You could have the ball. Again, you could have cushion, or you could just have your arms extended out. Either way is going to work. Having the ring just helps to bring a little bit more attention to pressing those palms in. You could use a yoga block to taking it lengthways, so it's a little bit wider to hold on to. And as you press into whatever prop you might be using, pressing through the toenails here, tucking your tailbone, bringing your nose to your mat, taking an inhalation, and as you exhale, press those hands into the ring as you lift it up. And breathe in at the bottom. Breathe out as you squeeze and lift. So you're trying to peel as much of your upper body as you can, but certainly by pressing those hands together, you are making it much more challenging to do that. Breathe in, breathe out. Using the exhale to lift up is also going to help you to use that strength, concentration, more energy, power into that exhale. The last one right here. And bring it all the way down. Awesome work. From here, we are going to bring the forehead to the stacked hands. And as I bend both legs, I'm going to lift the right thigh off the floor and bring it down. Now, when I do that, I don't want to apply more pressure on my left one. Hips down. Good morning. Welcome. Great to see you. Happy Friday to you. Welcome, welcome. And so if you do pop in here and you have a channel, by all means, you can go ahead and tell us a little bit about your channel. What is your why as far as having a YouTube channel? And anybody who does, I encourage you to visit each other as well. So from here, let's switch it over. Left thigh lifts up. And you'll find it's probably easier to get a little bit more air with the one side than the other. But again, be careful not to roll to one side or to the other. You want to stay nice and still through that lower back. You're really using the glute. You're using your hamstrings to pick up that leg and to work those muscles. Keep it going. And beautiful squeeze. Last 3, 2, 1. Extend the legs long. Well done. From here, we give the back a little bit of a release before we move on. We've just got a little bit more back work to do. So bringing the right knee out to the side, kind of like a half frog. Bring your left ear on those hands. Pausing here for a moment, just to release that low back. And then we switched around to the other side and bring the other knee out to the side. So now that the back is really well warmed up, we're going to come into what is called swan prep. You might be able to move into more of a swan, but I'm going to kind of walk you through it, and you adjust it to what feels good and right for you. So the idea is to create kind of a rocker with your body. So if you think of a rocking chair rocker, that's what you want to do with your body. So you've got the front lifting while the back goes down and vice versa. So you could have the hands nice and close to you, inhaling to lift up, keeping those shoulders well away from your ears, breathing in. And as you come to, when you're down, you're breathing in. You're breathing out to lift up. Breathe in to come down. Lift the legs as you exhale. Inhale and exhale, lift. Inhale Exhale, lift the legs. So you continue to alternate from side to side, maybe picking up a little bit of momentum with that movement as you keep rolling through the front lines of the body. Feels quite lovely, actually. And bring it down. Now you can repeat that exactly the way we just did it, or you can continue to add on the making it a little bit more difficult by extending the arms long away from you. So that's going to make it, the longer the lever, it's always more challenging. So as you slide those shoulder blades down the back, keep the tail tucked, navel to spine, take an inhale, and exhale, lift the arms, lift the legs. Arms, legs, arms, legs. And again, you want to keep this as smooth as possible. And finish it up here with one last one and bring it down. So that would be considered a little bit of a trick Pilates exercise. So as you bring your knees under the chest, push the hips back, let your forehead release and create some rounding in your spine. Give the head a little bit of a turn from side to side. And then slowly make your way up onto the hands and knees to come back to table. From here, we take the hands a little further forward and tuck those toes under to come into an inverted V. So as we press those hips way up and back, spread the shoulder blades nice and wide open. Give the head a little bit of a shake out, a little bit of a turn from side to side. As we bend both knees, you're going to walk or hop to place the feet right between the hands. Inhale with a flat back, exhale and fold. From here, we soften the knees and slowly unroll, using your abdominal wall to support the spine the whole way through as we make our way up to standing nice and tall. Take a breath in here, reach the arms long, and as you begin to roll, once again, you are going to articulate your way down and slowly unroll. So keep softness in the knees. So if you have a prop available to you, you could go ahead, use your yoga block between your inner thighs. You could use your Pilates ring, your ball, and from here, what we want to focus on is that engagement. It's almost as if we're trying to kind of shoot out our prop behind us. So you really want to keep those inner thighs rolling inward to engage. So from here, take an inhalation, breathe in, and as you scoop the belly in, begin your rolling down, articulating through the spine. Little adjustment to the ring here as you slowly unroll. Once again, squeezing that prop between those inner thighs. Breathe in and breathe out. Scoop the belly and round. Think about rounding. I always like to use the analogy of a string of pearls, and your spine is that way as you slowly, it's like when you're coming up, you're picking up one pearl at a time and just getting that string of pearls to stand in a nice long line. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, tuck the chin, and from here, we release and drop one pearl forward at a time to come all the way back down to your forward fold, and slowly unrolling. Once again, scooping the belly, using that whole abdominal wall to keep the back well supported. So as we squeeze the inner thighs, let's take a breath in. And as we exhale, sitting back into chair. So creating, again, we're squeezing that prop, whatever it is you're using, reaching up, inhale. Exhale, bring the arms back, keep the chest nice and open, sink heavily into your heels. Breathing in and breathing out. And keep it going. Breathe in and breathe out.
Using the prop is really going to help to bring that awareness to those inner legs. And last one, let's hold it here, hold it, open the chest, heavy in your heels, and let's pulse 6 as we squeeze our prop for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on all the way up, release that, and you can set it aside for now. So from our nice tall stance, let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, sinking down into a really nice low squat to bring yourself all the way to seated. So from here, I'm going to take the hands and bring them somewhat behind me as I bring the thighs in towards the belly. Now I can keep my knees bent. We're going to come into some hip circles. So you're circling clockwise with those legs through the hips. So circling around. Let's switch it over, circle the other way, counterclockwise, leaning back into those hands. So you get the idea. We're going to do 5 circles in each direction. So you can adjust here, keeping your legs bent, or if you want the extra work, legs straight as you circle clockwise, right back to the center, circle counterclockwise, back to the center, breathing in and breathing out, and around. Number 3. Again, remember, you can keep those legs bent, making it easier. We're on to number 4. Circle the other way. And number 5. Take it the other way. And bring it down. Beautifully done. From here, let's come into spine stretch. So again, you can use a prop here just to help bring some focus. I'm going to reach for yoga block. Place it between the inner thighs. Squeeze it really firmly. Flexing the ankles as I reach up, inhale. And then exhale, reach forward. So again, it's that same idea of that string of pearls. As I reach, and I keep scooping the belly in, navel to spine. And then I restack and reposition everything over top of my hips. Taking an inhale. Exhale, let's reach it through. Scoop, scoop, scoop through that belly. Extend through the fingers. And bring it back. Stacking and aligning everything. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's do one more. And take it all the way back. Roll out the shoulders and release. From here, you can keep the block if you want, ball, whatever it is you're using between your inner thighs. But I'm going to take an inhalation to lift up. We're rolling down on this one to take the body. Again, you can see my lower back comes down, the bottom of my shoulder blades, and the middle, and then finally the upper and the head. So it is a beautiful rolling motion that I create here. Now, one of more advanced poses here, or exercises rather, is called neck pull. But please don't pull on your neck. It's just the name of the exercise. What you do is place the fingertips right by the ears, opening up the elbows as you start out, breathing in, breathing out to roll your way up and come back to that articulation. All right, great to see you, Adrian and Nico. Thank you so much. So happy you made it here on this Friday morning. Welcome, welcome. It's a little bit like having some royalty in the room when you guys come in. So I'm very honored that you're here and have made it on this Friday morning. And I'm sure that it's pretty early over there. So you're getting an early start. Good for you. Breathe in and breathe out. So remember, you're breathing out when it is difficult, you are articulating. So this is a really good way to warm up the spine for some of the other, and the abdominals, for some of the other trick
exercises that we are going to do. So from here, take the arms long, breathe in, and we've done this one a few times as we move into teaser. So we're lifting one leg at a time. Let's switch over to the left leg. So if you started with right, let's move over to the left. Now you can continue on alternating one at a time, or you might play around with lifting both of them. This is going to be really good preparation for roll over. You might have seen that in yesterday's video. We did the roll over, we did the boomerang, we did the open leg rocker, as well as seal. Oh wow, Fu is here as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you popping in. I hope you're having a great Friday. Your Friday's off to a really good start. It's the weekend. We are in the final days here at Bendnstretch with Sue of 31 days of Zen. I can't believe how quickly the month has gone by. So from here, we're going to come all the way up. You can pause here, grab a hold of the ankles if you can, or your pant legs, or whatever you can hold on to. You're going to separate the legs here. Now, scooping the belly in, sitting nice and tall. When we scoop in, we want to have some rounding in the back as we roll back and roll back up to balance once again. So reset when you get to the top. Take a breath in. Awesome. And come on back up to balance here. Woo. A little bit of challenge. So if you need to bend the legs or just take a moment to reset, try to read the screen here and balance. Lots of brain work. Roll it back and take it back up again. This is so great for the spine. It's really massaging. But if you are new to it, you might want to keep your knees bent just to make it easier to have that rounding in your back. And you may, like that, have to make a few attempts also, which is all good. So from here, we're going to bring the feet together. And from here, I'm now switching my grip. I'm holding on to the, I'm going through the middle between the legs, holding on to the outsides of my ankles. So I'm really able to get a kind of closer to my heels. This is called seal. So the other one was open rocker. We started with teaser into open rocker, and now we've got seal as we do 3 claps of the heels. 1, 2, 3. Rolling back. 1, 2, 3. Rolling up. 1, 2, 3. Rolling back. 1, 2, 3. And keep that going. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Keep it going. 1, 2, 3. Now, once you get into a really nice rhythm with this, let's do a couple more like that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. On the next one, let's attempt standing up from there. Haha, caught you off guard. We're going to try that again. Take an inhale. Sink into chair. Get those hips nice and low. Take a hold of those heels. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And come on up to standing nice and tall. Let's do 3 more, just like that. Sink into your chair. Get those hips nice and low. And reach for those heels. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oops. I did not. You can't do clap and come up. At least I can. So let's try that again. If you got up, come on back down again. And 1, 2, 3. And come on up. And sink it down into your chair. Nice long arms. Bottom goes down. 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 2, 3. And take it up. Standing tall. Inhale. Exhale. Bottoms down. And reach. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And come on up. And last time down. Sink. And get nice and low. Reach for those heels. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on up. Awesome work. So now we're really nice and warm. We've had, and the idea is to make some of these, you want to build up to have the strength to do the articulation, the rolling of your spine so that you're not slapping down
on your mat with a flat back. So that takes time, coordination, strength to get yourself to be in that place where you can activate the muscles in that way. So safety is always most important first, but you want to have some fun with these. It just changes it up and just makes it much more interesting. So I like to throw these in throughout class, especially at the end of the class when you are more warmed up, your muscles are ready, you've got that mind-body connection going. So from here, we're going to move into some more demanding core work as well. So if you need to ease it back, you're simply going to keep your hips down on the floor instead of picking them up. Or you could use your ball, if you have one, to kind of prop your hips up a little bit so that you get more used to working your core with your hips being elevated. So let's come on down. So rolling all the way down, and from here we bring the legs up over the hips. So you could stay right here and work at this point. Again, you could use the ball, lifting it up, placing it to the lower back is going to elevate the hips. So depending how inflated the ball is, it's going to give you a little bit more height. You can kind of work with that, gradually putting more air in your ball. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of knit the shoulder blades a little bit toward each other. And as I keep those legs nice and long over the hips, activating the core to press the hips up to come into more of a shoulder stand. So it's not quite like a yoga shoulder stand. So the hips are a little bit more forward or behind of my shoulders, but separating the legs as we come into a scissor motion here. Now I'm going to keep my right leg, in this case, above my head, kind of in line with my eyes as I double pulse. Breathe in, exhale, exhale. Breathe in, out, out. Breathe in, out, out. So this really causes my core to be on, staying on, so that I'm not feeling this in my back at all. And you don't want to feel it in your neck either. Now, as I bring the legs together again, it's taking a moment here to reset the hips, and I'm going to move into a bicycle. So what I want to do here is keep that right big toe in line with my eye, and it'll be the same with the left as I switch. So I'm reaching my left leg long toward the floor as I switch, bringing the left leg in line with my eye as I circle the right, and continue to alternate that. Really working hard here to stay still through the hips and not bringing my leg too far forward over my head is going to cause me to stay really loaded in those abdominal muscles. So let's finish it up. Left leg is going to go back, bringing the legs together and rolling it all the way down. Excellent. Take it into a big long stretch here. Once again, breathing in to get lots of length. And as we bring the hands by the hips, we walk the feet in. And yeah, that is, you're right, Sue. It is really amazing work for the core and really the whole body, but certainly there's so much activation, concentration going on for those couple of exercises. So from here, let's come back into some extension because we were in flexion. And as we lift the hips, you've got the option here. If you're starting to get a little tired, you could reach for your yoga block or your ball, place it underneath your back. If you've got the yoga ball under your back, this is a really favorite one among students, is to kind of shimmy the hips a little bit side to side and really give those
The low back muscles, especially back of the pelvis, are really good massage as you shimmy the hips side to side. You could keep the ball there to add to your challenge. We did some of this on Wednesday when the whole session was with a small ball where you're balancing and you can bring your arms up using the ball. The idea, because it's round, it's squishy, it really throws off your balance. So you have to work that much harder to be balanced, and really causes your core to fire in order to do that, especially when you add some movement. So bringing right leg, left arm long and switching it over to the other side. So nice and easy here through the movement as you alternate it side to side. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, maybe adding both arms, both legs to really up the challenge. And try to keep those hips still. I find mine are kind of shifting a little wobble from side to side, but really working hard to keep them as centered as possible. And from here, bring that down. So I can set the ball aside here as we come back into some bridge work, knitting those shoulder blades toward each other. Once again, pressing through the center back of the head as I reach the right leg long, pointing through those toes and lower and lift, lower and lift. For 4, so pointing on the reach up, flexing on the lowering, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Step it in. Keep those hips level. So once you start extending your legs, it's really easy to kind of drop one to the side. And you want to avoid that. The idea is to get the glutes of those hamstrings really nice and strong, as well as your inner thighs. So from here, you lift it up and we flex, pointing and flexing. For 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, finishing it up almost right here. Last one. Bring it up, bend, and bring it down. So that wraps up our work for today, but we're going to do a little bit of stretching yet before I let you go. So if you have to run, I understand. But you do want to stretch as much as possible to bring your body back to that more centered equilibrium. Taking your right ankle here, let's stretch into those glutes for that figure 4 or reclined pigeon. And even the little bit of stretching that I'm going to do here, you could certainly do more. I do have a couple of videos that you can click on for cool downs. One of them is just like a 7 minute cool down, which is really touches all the parts of the body, because we did a little bit of arm work, not as much today as we have in the other practices throughout the week. You can let those legs twist to the side. Keeping your ankle on top here is going to help to stretch those abductors, which we did do some of that work when we were on our sides. I hope that you liked those trick exercises. They are just a really fun way to change things up, and I meant to do the boomerang. I completely forgot to do it. So if you're wondering what the boomerang is all about, you can check out yesterday's video. And I go through 5 repetitions of the boomerang. It's a lot of fun, along with the roll over. So do tune in for those and check those out. As we bring the legs back up, just reaching through to deepen that glute stretch here. And then release, bringing both feet or both knees into the chest, lift your nose up, and see if you can reach either for the inside, maybe the big toes or outside edges of your feet, stacking your ankles over top of your knees. And from here, doing a little bit of rocking from side to side. So as you do that, you get a deeper hip stretch and a bit of a back massage once again, which is really lovely for the spine. Bring the knees back in again. Open up the arms, wiper blade your legs side to side. And as you make your way all the way onto your side, reach for your foot or your ankle or even your pant leg and point the knee away from you as you lengthen through the front of the body and see this top shoulder. Try to roll it back and maybe even look up toward the ceiling here to get more of an opening in your chest. Take a few breaths here. Great way to deepen here too, again, is to cross the bottom ankle over that top leg. I love how that feels, getting into the IT band. And then let it go. Let's roll on to the other side. I'm just going to turn myself around here as I reach for that top foot again. Pull it in, point the knee away, roll the shoulder back, look up, possibly cross the top or the bottom leg on the top. Breathing in fully. Try to relax into your stretch. And let that go. As we move on to a seated position, coming into cross-legged here, we'll just move through a couple of stretches for the arms and adding a twist once again. So from here, take a big inhale. Let's reach up and over, really stretching, bringing the back of the hand to the head as you turn and look up to that elbow. And then taking that top arm, reach it forward in front of you and take the other one back behind you as you turn and look past that shoulder. So nice twist of the spine and a stretch of those obliques. Take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, take your opposite hand down, reach up and over for a really good side stretch here. Take the hand behind the head, turn and look up to that elbow. Relax your jaw, your face. And taking your top hand, bring it in front, bring the other one back behind you and look back. Let it go. Roll out your shoulders a little bit here. So I do hope that you had fun with those. And by all means, you can go ahead and comment and let me know if you have any requests. Tomorrow will be the Chinese body organ clock video that'll be coming out. Don't forget, you can catch me live on Sunday afternoon with Miriam. We will be chatting about being a yogi and the journey that's involved there and looking at it from a student's perspective. Rather, so far we've had leaders in the community, online and within your own communities. But now we're going to talk about a student's perspective. So I hope that if you're not or don't consider yourself a yogi perhaps, or just starting your journey, you can learn some from Miriam and her perspective. So look forward to seeing you then. I'm so glad, Sue, that you're able to hang in here for the rest of the practice. Thrilled to have you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Your support means a lot to me. I really appreciate your kindness, your comments, and I hope that your Friday is just awesome as we lead into a weekend ahead. We're starting off here with some sunshine. It's a little chilly up here in Canada, but spring has